afternoon, good night, everyone. I still don't know which one we should use.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Callum.
Hello.
Another week, another umbraCoffee.
Another week, another umbraCoffee. Yeah.
umbraCoffee X.
It comes around so quickly. Yeah, umbraCoffee X. Last week we ended up being a bit I don't know. I'm going to say roasting. We didn't intentionally roast stuff. I might have got a little bit carried away. But yeah, wow. There's lots to talk about this week, isn't there? What the hell is going on at Twitter?
Yes, but that's good then. There's always waves, ups and downs with the content, with everything basically being shared across the community, because community is the active organism, and we have a really nice things to talk about this week. How was your week, Callum?
Busy. It's always busy, but yeah, I've been working pretty hard on a couple of projects, which has been fun. But yeah, no, good. Quite happy with them so far. So yeah. What about you, Marcin?
Yeah, also busy on multiple fronts. As I mentioned before we went live, I was patiently waiting the builders to finish some of the stuff around my house, and I try to still adapt a lot of lessons learned from dealing with the constructions and business around outside of the tech industry, and get the most out of it into our branch. And I also share a lot of stories from our industry with them, and that makes them happier. That not only them have this kind of issues. It's even if you're sitting in front of the computer, the problems are still the same, right? Yeah. So it's just so it was an interesting week, I would say.
I sometimes, so there's a stereotype in the UK that when you ask a builder for something, they sort of lean back and go, "Oh, it'll cost you." And like I sometimes feel like that when I'm talking with clients, because they're asking for all these sort of things. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you do this and this? And I always, every time I go, yeah, okay, but when you think about budgets, I feel like that builder leaning back. Oh, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
It is a trap, but that's exactly what we are talking right now. That I'm taking a look from the position of the team lead, tech lead, or also the company owner. I know how it is to be in this position and having a client who is pointing at places where something needs to be fixed. But at the end of the day, that's the agreement, right? We need to fix it, right? So if you make the mistake, if you make a bug, and that should work a little bit different, then it's your responsibility to fix it, right? Yeah. So they are fixing at the moment.
Hopefully, as I'm sure people have found in the past, when you have a bug that you need to fix and it ends up being like a refactor of like, oh no, I've got to go all the way back to you've got to hope that with building work, it's not like we've got to rip it back to the foundations just to make this one thing happen. But we feel that in software sometimes.
I still feel like I have a composable house with a lot of microservices that are failing one after another. But that's really funny to relate it all together, and I do really enjoy watching it from the various perspectives. So yeah, it's a final sprint around my house, so we should be releasing soon, and then it will get into the maintenance mode. So that's where I am.
Minimum viable product. The kitchen somewhere at the end of the garden.
Indeed.
The bedrooms are all just one room right now, and
functional and value driven. We have a roof above our heads, right? So that's working, right? Cool, and thank you all for joining us. And Rick is watching us live, so we can prove to the Rick that this is live. Thanks, Rick. And the live is always more entertaining. I hope so. But we can talk about it later as well. Cool, Umbraco things. Let me start presenting, because we have a couple of really nice things to talk about Umbraco, starting from version 12.1 RC.
Yeah,
that's a magical RC release that was complete. And it is going to be the target release date for 12.1, not RC, is August 10. So not that far in time now. What it contains? Did you go through the whole?
We've spoken a lot recently about how the point releases from Baraka have become boring, and they are, because ultimately they're not like necessarily always adding lots of features. I'm going to call this I think this is a very technical release compared to most. Sometimes we'll get a feature or something editor facing, but realistically here, the highlights are member type compositions. I think that's the big one. So, yes. And it's awesome that one comes from the community. I didn't realize you couldn't use compositions with member types. It's just something I've always assumed, that content, media, member types were all just the same thing, but clearly they're not. So No, that's an awesome addition. There was a few fixes. I think there was a change added around the pipeline, the Umbraco pipeline, where you can hook into some events before and after certain things happen that you couldn't do before, which then allows people to do more complex routing and those sorts of things, which is valuable. Yeah, but everything is fairly like back-end technical bug fix or an improvement. I got a change in that fixes XPath on properties. So it's been broken since V9, so I'm not quite sure. No, V8, sorry. It's been broken since V8. I'm not quite sure why it's never been raised. Maybe people aren't using XPath. Hopefully they're not. But I had to the other day. I was trying to query a drop-down field, anything that wasn't just a simple text string, and it doesn't work. The value that gets stored in the XML is like object or equivalent. So yeah, you can't do anything with it. But now you can. So that's cool.
Yeah, and it looks like a lot of underlying fixes and improvements, which is exactly something what might not be seen, but at the other position it will be seen because it got improved. And I must admit that I was working with a different CMS, and not that CMS, but more like an e-commerce platform. And I missed things from Umbraco. That was interesting feeling because this magic fields in Umbraco forms or content, the ability to get some values from nested content items by the template or file. That was something what I felt like given or granted by the systems, and no, the system is not offering anything else like that, and we need to go through MVC path to get the content from the staff, and that was interesting finding. And I then I went back to my team and said, Umbraco has it all there, and we just felt like it's normal. It should be there, right?
Somebody on Twitter, last night or the night before, asked with Umbraco 12 and headless, like is headless and MVC, are they mutually exclusive? Do you have to only use one of them, or can you use both? I was like, yeah, of course you can use both. Nothing's turning one or the other off. Some of the headless, some of the CMS I've played with, it's been very much like you're either in headless mode or you're in like a classic mode. And again, Umbraco is far more flexible, so I like that. And even when it's not, we build a bunch of extensions on top of it for fetching content by types and doing some of the common things that we do, and it's just nice and easy to do that. So I think we're very lucky.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting point of view, because someone asked me this week, what is hot now about Umbraco, and because headless might not be hot in various circles because it was already a topic addressed. This composability, we might not be there yet, right? Headless APIs here. Cool, awesome. Content creation, new editors, that was already hot, maybe before that. So that was something what turned me into a consideration mode, because I don't know, maybe this kind of mixed approaches, right?
It's a great question. In the chat, let us know, what do you think's hot in Umbraco right now? Because I'm struggling with that as well. I think actually for so long we had a big list of things we were longing for, we wanted. And we've got all
now. It's here. Now it's there. What's next, right?
yeah. What's next? There's definitely improvements that can be made around load balancing. That's a big thing for me, but it's not something that people should get excited about. The new back office will be interesting for me. I find it quite a scary prospect. It's daunting. I know why it's necessary. I'm kind of keeping at arm's length from it. I'm aware of what's going on there, but should it change anything in my day-to-day? Is it going to make my experience of Umbraco better? No, I don't think so. Element types in the database would be cool, but again, it's maybe just a given. Nahak says about the content delivery API. I guess depending on what your workflow is, how you're using Umbraco, will depend which of these bits you get excited about the most. For us, we're not really doing headless, so.
And a lot of companies don't want to change the way how they build software because they are completely happy with how they do it now. So that's an opportunity. But again, for some of the people, definitely, and for some of them, not. Same with the back office, right? If that's a package creator who maintains a huge package, it might not be that exciting, mostly scary to refactor everything or rebuild everything. But for the end user and editor, they will still use a CMS, hopefully similar the same way. So it's interesting question, and definitely please people let us know what you feel exciting about with doing Umbraco solutions. We can then talk about it maybe in the next
I like it personally. I just like the ease of getting a solution together, and that's always been its premise, right? I was able to churn out literally like an entire website, complex website in a week of some intense work, but like we can do those things really, really easily. Anything from a simple, quick, I can get a demo up and running in 20 minutes, and I can build a full website fairly fast. Is definitely the selling point, I think, from my perspective.
And for me, it's also that, but also having Umbraco more aligned with the .NET ecosystem and ability to finally use everything what is a market standard for the .NET ecosystem. That's something what is just really nice to have and see, and it speeds up the process of delivery.
Yeah, this week I made a whole, effectively, a plugin for a website that was completely Umbraco agnostic, and it didn't take any extra effort, because all the stuff I would have regularly been doing anyway in Umbraco was the stuff I was just needing to do in pure.NET, and I did it in pure.NET, and the library itself has no Umbraco dependency. It's just extensions upon some of the out-of-the-box abstractions that Microsoft gives us. It's very good.
Yeah, so that's our things. Let us know about yours, and we can hopefully, and we will be finding more exciting things done with Umbraco onwards, because it's just the new releases every day and every week or every cycle that delivers new functionalities. So we can also help Umbraco to do something else with that.
As always, release candidates.
Yes, exactly.
So go test it out, raise feedback, and I'm going to go and check my XPath thing works.
if it really works. So definitely a good one. New Skin team on top of that delivered their new version, new release that supports Umbraco 12. So that's another alignment. It's a site builder v5 and compatible with Umbraco 12. We've been talking with the team from Uskin not that far away in time about everything what Uskin offers, the shop interactions, the functionalities in the graphic interface builders. So now it can be used also with the most up-to-date version of Umbraco, which is cool.
Very cool.
And that's a great release. And for all the Uskin fans and people who wants to use it, check this out as well. And Callum, package releases, plenty of them this week, starting from this one at Facebook.
So the Diefoot team I'd never heard of, and I had to Google, and they are based in Canada. And I don't know of too many Umbraco packages coming out of Canada, so that's awesome. Really cool to see that. And an Azure AD password checker for your site. I'm not quite sure exactly what it does. I think it's for your users to actually use AD auth and then to verify the password to get something. Annoyingly, Microsoft has just renamed Azure AD to Centra, so they're going to have to
yes,
or Entra or something. So they're going to have to rename this package anyway. But
we can stop here and discuss the renaming topic.
I saw somebody on Twitter recently say, "I just got my nice new Porsche, and I got a personalized number plate with AD on it." For Azure AD, they were like, it just says Azure AD, and then they've got to change the name, which is hilarious and awful at the same time.
But the same happened with Twitter, right? Again, Twitter got renamed into X now. But I have various perspectives on that. From one point of view, everyone, we got used to Twitter, and of course, the change of the name is not maybe helpful for us. It's and also from the X perspective, there's a lot of other products called X at the moment, right?
Well, so, the whole thing, someone said that the favicon looks a bit like an adult website. I can see
3 X's next to each other.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
There was the whole drama of he can't copyright the logo because it's actually a Unicode character, and it's part of an alphabet. If you search, what do you call a tweet now? Is it an X? Is it a zeet?
You're Xing, not tweeting.
Yeah, how do you Google something? I don't know. I don't understand. I'm sure he's got some grand plan that will come clear.
But I also heard that Microsoft owns the trademark for X in general, right? So that's going to be either an interesting battle to see, or a funny story, which is another great Elon-driven drama. But one perspective that I wanted to share is I saw a lot of people who started tweeting or Xing about leaving Twitter because of the name change, and that's from my perspective I've been on social media for various reasons for a long time already, and it was if renaming of the platform which you use for maybe your personal or business profession causes you to leave it, that's probably the wrong use case for what you're doing this, right? So
I saw
just name.
I saw a fantastic video from an ex-Twitter engineer, someone who got acquired. Their company got acquired in 2020, and she was explaining how kind of she neither loves nor hates Elon. She thinks he's clearly incredibly smart. He's got some big ideas. Maybe they're not always the best executed, but she's a firm believer of he bought the company for a reason. Let him get on with what he's hoping to do. And I'll find a link to it and I'll put it in down below. It was very interesting. She's the one who famously slept on the floor in the weeks after the Twitter acquisition to get stuff done. And
we'll see. I'm passionately observing this, and this is interesting to see it from the business perspective too, because Elon, the most rich person on earth, being kind of sometimes not that polite communicator of the conversation, preparing for the fight with Mark Zuckerberg in the octagon, right? So there's a lot of takeaways potentially for all of us there, and it's great to see this activity, and of course it helped Twitter to go more popular. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that will happen for the Active Directory and AD as well. Who knows? But this package definitely is a great addition, and same as you, I've noticed Die4 team being very active, and we've mentioned a couple of I don't know if it was 1 or 2 packages in the past coming also from them, and they were really nice and doing the job. So this one definitely does what it was made for. So check out this one. Second one is about auto image optimize, which sounds also interestingly, because we can set up the quality of the images, allow extensions, and enable or disable the package via configuration. And it seems to, from my perspective, it seems to affect all of the images that are processed by Umbraco. So potentially, if you upload or editors are uploading images, it's just got processed before it got saved.
This is a really interesting one, very topical for me, because this week we've been diagnosing an issue where the client said, why are all of my crops blurry on the website? And we did a bit of digging. And it turns out there's a number of reasons, but one of them is the fact that they're putting heavily compressed images into Umbraco already. So they're running a heavily compressed image through image processor, which is then further compressing and downscaling that image. And so what you end up with is a heavily blurred image with loads of artifacts on it, and it doesn't look good at all. And I asked the designers that have been working on it, and they said, oh yeah, we've been kind of compressing them down from their raw 10 meg size down to a few megabytes and then uploading them. And we said, stop doing that, because actually Image Sharp handles a 15 meg image absolutely fine. And we managed, with our largest crop, which was about 1500 pixels, we still managed to get that end result size down to about 250 kilobytes for a big header image, which I think is acceptable for web, and with very little quality loss when we use the raw image. When we use the compressed one, we got awful quality at the other end. So it's something you've actually got to think about, and I'm very intrigued by this this package. What I said to Jason on the team in the week was, wouldn't it be cool if when in the media library, when you add an image, it says, well, hold on a sec, you've added an image that's like heavily compressed, or it's not the right, it's like below a certain size, so we need to give you an alert to say that's not going to look great. All of the crops on the site are going to be scaling that up massively. That sort of thing would be really interesting as a package. So I'm keen to see, one, has anyone done something similar, had the same challenges, and two, if there's actually a solution out there already that could do this sort of thing.
Yeah, I would say I wanted to show you one of the solutions, because I've been investigating the topic, not directly, but our team was doing a lot around the images. And in the headless ecosystems, it's also challenging because you need to host images somewhere and use them in the various channels. So there is a solution called Cloudinary. I don't know if you've heard about.
Cloudinary, yeah.
Yeah, and I also found that there was a discussion on Umbraco threads and EnterSpeed threads as well, that they had some integrations with it, and this is this is the solution that is doing a lot around the images, right? With optimization, performance, scalability, and stuff like that. And then, of course, the CDNs and all the other fancy stuff on top of that to ship it faster, ship it better.
Yeah.
So there's and as you've mentioned, there is a way of preventing the high image to be stored inside of Umbraco, which might hurt other scenarios. And then when you serve them, you can serve them in optimized way and cache them and do whatever. And there are some probably
when you were off a few weeks ago, Steve Temple came on and we talked about his Azure function that was designed to do all of the cropping and the processing of your image, and you just change your route of your images on your site, and bingo, you've got a nice performant thing. But Cloudflare has it baked in. The Amazon CDN, I can't remember what it's called, CloudFront, has cropping baked in as well, and like they're really good. There's a lot of other tools out there for cropping up images. So
it reminded me that I was optimizing the image once in the past by code by removing every 4th pixel from the image, going through the image and just deleting the pixels, and it was still looking fine. So that might be this compression that we were talking about, done by similar worst coder and other as I do. Cool. And the last one, not from the Diford, but with similar item. It comes from Lancify, and it's called Auto Block List. Auto Block List is an Umbraco package made for 10+, made to help automate the process of converting nested content into a block list. That's cool. So that's more like a migrator from the nested content into the block list. Definitely needed and used by some people who are.
People have been using the usync migrations package to do some of this as well. But this gives like a WYSIWYG UI on top of the migration, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. So that's the packages, and there are some updates that we've also listed for the Zapier, Elmah, and AccessRestriction plugins as well. On the
a few small incremental updates, nothing too noteworthy, but worth a shout out.
Yeah. So that's the releases, and now one of the other releases that you are involved in, and something what is to be announced today. Another X in the logo.
Another X. This was kind of intentional. It's kind of tongue in cheek. So Umbraco Festival or UK event, whatever we want to call it, is coming back, and it's on November 2nd and 3rd. I've spoken about this before on umbraCoffee. It's not been really a secret, but as of now, tickets are on sale and a call for speakers is open. So please go and apply. You've got till 1st of September there, and you've also, the sooner you buy your ticket, the happier I will be, and less stressed I will be over the next few months. So go buy your ticket. November 2nd, there'll be a nice hackathon. November 3rd, a nice hipster venue that we've got in London, new venue. Lots of talks.
So that's a completely new venue. 31.
We're going to try and keep it fresh and do some slightly different things as well with the format. So there'll be more details released on this soon. But tickets are £175, no VAT on them. It's a flat 175. So it's actually ever so slightly cheaper than the last UK Fest in 2019 as well. And I will say, this is all run by the Umbraco Foundation, complete non-profit organization, no company behind it. It's just a collective of people that love Umbraco. We rely on the support of companies. So if your company wants to sponsor, you get a massive discount on tickets and a bunch of free ones as well. There is a link there. You can go on the Umbraco Foundation site, links on Twitter, everywhere, or just message me. And it would be fantastic to get some sponsors on board as well, to have your company's logo attached to the event as like a co-supporter, basically. But yeah, festival.umbracofoundation.co.uk. My understanding is later this afternoon, umbracofestival.co.uk is also going to redirect to here. It currently still shows the 2019 site. But this website's going to evolve heavily over the next couple of weeks as details get announced. So
that's really, really nice. And you've mentioned about the tickets and of course the speakers as well, right? So that's if the event needs to collect a really interesting knowledge, that's definitely plenty of people who wants to and can share a great.
I mean, we need to sell tickets to make the event happen. That's a given. But the thing I'm actually more excited about is seeing what people want to talk about. So I really want to see this call for speakers start filling up.
That's exciting.
Your ideas.
That's exciting. So yeah, that's great, and people are already excited here in the chat too. So yeah, let's find out, and definitely let's distribute this message across the companies who are located in UK and interested in UK market and Umbraco and knowledge and everything, just to support and help this event to become a success as it was in the previous years, because it was 4 years ago. Callum? It was 4 years ago. That was the
4 years. 2019 was the last time. So yeah, it will be 2 days shy of 4 years when we actually have the event. But I was going to say we had 350-ish people in 2019, and we can go bigger this year if we want to. So I'd love to see 400. That might be a challenge, but yeah, I'd really love to see as many people there as possible. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was already 4 years. That's
we've had 2 Umbraco togethers in that time, and yeah, it'll be 3 years and 11 months and like a week, a few days. Yeah, but it's nearly 4 years.
Cool. So yeah, the link of course the website will be attached to the episode's description too, so you will find it there. Check out more information and attend and share. And yeah, we will definitely update on everything and monitor Callum's happiness level over the time if you'll be buying tickets or chasing you guys. Cool. Other events that are happening also a little bit sooner, August 4th, and the barbecue and summer social hosted by you, Callum, and BAM Digital team. So it's really close, 2 weeks from now, right? 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks today up in Leeds. Should be good. The weather is looking questionable, but we're going to go ahead anyway. It might rain a little bit.
It's raining here right now, so that's the summertime.
Yeah.
But cool, that's one. Another is Umbraco DK meetup with the Code Garden recap and look at the year ahead. Sounds interesting, and it's happening in Copenhagen on August 9th. And yeah, some composition replacement talk by Kaspar, and Ken will be talking about API and new content delivery APIs with the front integration. So yeah, also looks really cool. And recap by from Code Garden will be done by Sebastian. So really pretty nice agenda. So yeah, that's happening soon too. Another Umbraco barbecue in London this time, right? Yep. The week after.
No, Andy's just pointed out in the chat that I was wrong. It's Leeds is in 1 week, London's in 2 weeks.
Yes, I also made this mistake. So
I will be in Leeds in a week. Don't worry.
Yeah, but thanks for keeping an eye on that, Andy. That's
London as well, and it's a shame we couldn't do more this year. But actually, the British weather's been unusually rainy, and venues are always hard to find with barbecues. So.
Well, that's good. And then we'll be already almost after the summer, so that's even crazy. There's one more.
It was the barbecue last year, just before. It was at the end of August, and I got COVID. I tested positive for COVID the day of that barbecue, and missed out on the Leeds one completely. So, yeah, I'm staying indoors this next week.
Yes, stay safe and deliver this time. Yeah. But there's one more meetup that we wanted to talk about, and we've mentioned this already. It's Turkey Umbraco user group meetup that is happening on August 15th. And just before the umbraCoffee, Nurhak, who is watching us as well, announced that he's going to be the first speaker on this meetup. So that's interesting, and I'm sure that it will be packed.
They have a really good number of people signed up for this already, so that should be awesome. For
22 attendees.
22. That's pretty good, and it will be in Turkish, so I won't be there, but.
Yeah, that's even more interesting, and it reminds me that this local communities were also interesting way to share this knowledge. And I did one in Poland back in the days, and it was always cool to have this kind of Polish discussions. So I'm sure that it will be really interesting for Turkish attendees, and I'm sure that we will learn more about it, how it went from either Bushra or Nurhak or other people who will hopefully share more how it went. So that's and there's last meetup that is happening in August, at least from the ones that are announced. It's Bristol talks that are happening on August 16th. We'll definitely remind about it closer to the event, because there's plenty of time before that. Call to actions, final call to actions for speakers and people who want to supply talks to the Dutch Umbraco conference and also the Umbraco US summit, because the call for proposal ends accordingly on the 1st August and the 31st.
It's also the 1st of August, but it's in the US.
Oh yeah, that's true. Time zones. But yeah, so that's it means that this is this weekend only, right? And one day.
Have a few more days to get your talks in. The Dutch Festival, as I've said many times, is always a fantastic event. Highly recommend submitting there. And I know already a few speakers have been accepted, and it's already should be a great event. So you might as well. I don't think they're announced yet, but they have been announced. Oh, cool. Yeah. There's definitely a couple extras on there as well that aren't there. But it will be a great event. It usually is.
Yeah, and Umbraco US, as we discussed last week as well, call for proposal open, and yeah, we will definitely update if we will have more information about the event there. That's the events, if I'm correct, and a couple more things to mention, starting from interesting article that you've placed on the agenda column. It's about indexing Microsoft Office documents using OpenXML in Umbraco. So that's I remember some of it being done back in the days when there was an Examine PDF indexer or something like that, but I can't remember the library that was done that was used there. It was probably Ismail who wrote this initially.
Yeah, and if I recall, what it actually did was spin up a JVM inside the process and do the indexing inside that and that back out. Yeah. So it was fairly inefficient. Whereas this is actually a native library that's been wrapped in .NET. Yeah.
It sounds and looks really interesting. So for all of us and you guys who wants to do something similar, check it out and reuse if that's possible. And 2 new sources of knowledge also listed this week, and 2 new channels that I've already subscribed to. So that's worth to mention. First, from Hare Krishna Parmar, called Code Snippets with HK. And the video here is about installing and setting up the Umbraco.
Really nice, polished, fairly easy to follow tutorial. So that's really cool to see.
Yes, and there's probably more to come, and there are already a couple of others.
He's actually done a couple others in recent times as well, or in previous times. So hopefully he can keep this going. They're good.
Fingers crossed, because we know that it's not easy to prepare and publish content regularly. So, but definitely, it's really nice to see it published. And the same as another channel called Chill and Hack with Joel.
This is Joel's first video in about 5 years, and it's a really technical Umbraco one about your 7 years. Damn, 2 years and then 3 years, and they go back a long way. But yeah, it's a really nice technical video explaining how to do some things with members, and it's pretty cool. And there's a nice sample repo that backs it, so you can go check that out too.
And I must also say that this is a pretty good quality on the video. I listened to it for a little bit before we went live, and I appreciate everything like that, because I know again how hard it is to maintain and keep this kind of quality. And even Paul's Hill here appreciated the creation by Joel. So yeah, fingers crossed for more knowledge.
Tweet from last Friday where he said, just look at how many YouTube videos tagged with the word Umbraco appeared in the last week, and there was loads, and it really made me think. So I went out and sought a couple out this week, and they are,
we'll definitely keep it monitored, and if there will be anything cool that you will see, let us know, and maybe some kind of crosses and collaborations between YouTube channels back in the future. That's what YouTubers do, right? From what I heard. So.
Yeah.
We'll find out. And Callum, there are 2 things that you wanted to
causing problems this week. and I'm about to cause another one. I'm going to raise another issue in a second, but I've been upsetting the apple cart, and this one created a lot of debate, and it's good. Let's pile on, put more debate into this. It was a conversation starter. But I said this at the Kent meetup 2 weeks ago. I always rename the true-false data type that ships with Umbraco out of the box, because if you save it, it strips the slash out. So it's already got a slash in there, and if you save it, it strips the slash out, and it's really, really annoying. And as I pointed out here, I find it weird that it's named after the data it stores rather than its utility. Everything else is like something picker, a drop down. But no, this is a Boolean, and they've basically named it as such. And if you then look deeper, the property editor is called umbraco.trueFalse, but its name is toggle. The data type is called TrueFalse, but its icon is a checkbox. It's like
that's a little bit lack of what's the name, consistency, right?
And then I fixed a bunch of casing. So like email address has got a lowercase a. I don't know if I actually fixed that one, but I've tried to make them all consistent, because you've got sometimes a like title case and sometimes it's sentence case and all this stuff. There was a big debate about what's better for accessibility. Marky Mark came in with some other ideas about renaming stuff. It could get quite out of hand, and I'm not expecting it to be merged. But, it's an interesting one. Go check it. Go have a look.
But that's exactly things like that, like you mentioned, renaming the property. I do remember doing the same, because I was also annoyed by the way how it was stored, and also I really truly like the naming convention reflecting the usability of the property instead of the data type being stored behind the scenes. But it is kind of interesting discussion, and I hope to see more of this kind of examples, because I also do agree with Mark here that there is plenty of things like that when multi-node tree picker can be changed to something else, or the other way around.
The multi-node tree picker can be singular, can't it? So like
I had my own convention back in the days, and I need to find out my presentation where I saved it, because I do not use it anymore. But any convention is better than no convention. And here it's more about really finding out the way.
Yeah, I think Umbraco has no convention currently, and from some conversations happening in the background, I believe a lot of this is changing with the new back office as well, as in the concepts. So maybe this will change then.
Might be a good time, and basically the synchronization of these changes with the new back office, for example, a little bit of breaking things maybe on the way. So who knows? We'll see, but that's a really good one. And the second one, that's a really interesting.
I award myself pull request of the week.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I was doing a site the other day, and I noticed there's a QR code icon. I was like, QR code icon. I wonder if anyone has ever scanned the QR code icon. It's a valid QR code, and it goes to Helveticons, where I guess the original icon was taken from and then turned into an SVG, and then blah blah blah. So I've changed it for something else. To
Rickroll.
It's not a Rickroll. It's still Umbraco related. It's fine, but it's I thought might as well change it. And as a little Easter egg for anyone that ever sees the. It's only ever going to appear like this big in the tree, or in the doc type editor. But why not?
I did check it before the episode, because I expected Rickroll, to be fair. But
I thought if there was any chance something might get accepted, then it would have to be something Umbraco related. So I've gone with that, and if we want to be boring, we can change it to like the umbraco.com website. But it would be more fun if it was this.
True. But great pull request, and fully deserves the pull request of the week.
Thank you.
Nice finding. There's probably more of that, but that's a really cool.
There definitely is.
Cool. And then the last link on our list is a nice shootout here for our supporter and fan and great dev and hacker Warren, who is going contracting from September.
Yeah. So click on the website. I love the website. I said this to Warren when we were messaging earlier. Like he's made a really lovely looking website, and I'm so glad that he's kept that Hack Make Do brand, because it's perfect for what he does. So, it would be a shame if you're looking to hire someone to not hire a fantastically skilled Umbraco developer as a contractor. So
indeed,
go hire Warren.
So I reposted this X To my other followers, ex-followers.
Re-X.
And
Re-X is X.
Re-exit. So yeah, definitely, if you are looking for a new addition to a team, company, project, monitor and reach out to Warren and hack something together.
Yeah.
And that's everything from our list today.
There was one more. I was having a look with Carla this week, and Carla told me that Carla, of course, was the host of umbraCoffee, not of umbraCoffee, of CodeCard. She was on umbraCoffee as well.
Not yet, but who knows?
Maybe one day. But I was having a lovely chat with her this week, and she said this. So I thought we'd give Joe a shout out. Hey, Joe. Apparently, Joe likes listening to umbraCoffee whilst he does stuff in his garage at the weekend. So high five you, Rock Joe. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe. But
that also reminds me, because Rick today said that he's for the first time live here, that it can be watched, it can be rewatched, it's recorded, it stays on YouTube. There's a great history of all the episodes, 285 episodes.
285 episodes, but there's even more videos. I think we've hit, I don't know, we are 3 videos away from 300 videos. So because not every video has been an episode, and some episodes got fit in 2, and all this history. There's the episode that didn't happen that's still there, and like
yes, that's true. So yeah, definitely make sure that you will like and subscribe and keep an eye on everything what we'll be publishing next, because we are getting close to the 300 of umbraCoffee episodes.
And we want to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. Like, we've been saying this for ages, but please.
Yes, exactly. We need more collaborations with YouTubers and YouTube, so help us reaching this goal. And definitely also keep us busy with Umbraco content and everything crazy what you do with Umbraco. And not only, let us know if there's anything what you want to highlight, share, or show on the next episodes. And yeah, definitely join us live or after live. Leave comments in the YouTube. We monitor them all. We react to them all as well. So be sure to also keep us in the loop if anything cool is happening on your side. And then, we'll catch up as usual on the next Friday.
We will. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye. It looks like you're logged out of the StreamYard and broadcast. I can't end that broadcast.